Dale ñefe doole ñefe guma leen yàlla waay
Legend in the making. Never thought about how long the dream would take when your confidence is breaking and you're fighting not to give in to temptation. Champion no be easy. Even a silver spoon needs food to feed a fool full of privilege. Money no be talent, talent be divine heritage. That's your leverage. Hustle every day where you know they see top. Bank alert still no drop.
I'm the brother, yes.
You are listening to In the Mix, and this silky voice is your host, Mariah, or as my father likes to call me, Imbrobs. This podcast, and you should already know, is dedicated to celebrating and making less confusing, at least to the foreigners, the vibrant African sound. That's Afrobeats, Amapiano, and all the many, many eclectic vibes in between. We have reached the season finale, people. It's been a journey. I have strofed to get here. It's been an interesting year, considering how this podcast started and where we are now. But consistency is the strength of anything, and so I have to say I'm proud of myself for keeping it up, and I'm enjoying talking again, just talking music, just talking to you guys and the people that listen and sharing my thoughts. And I go out and people tell me that they enjoy hearing my voice and hearing my opinions, and so that keeps me going. And so I just really appreciate you guys. We've entered 2025. Happy New Year. I'm just grateful to make it to another year. And I know this year is going to be good. Everybody's sort of feeling that energy. 2023, 2024 was tough for me personally, and I think tough for many other people. 2025, everything is going to be possible, different. We're improving, we're more disciplined. Consistency is the word. Redemption, restoration. I genuinely believe that. I made sure to start the year in church, hearing some good gospel, some good African gospel, because I'm living in New York. Obviously, my church is pretty diverse, and so I hear, all the songs that I like, but there's, they're not gonna give me my Ga gospel, my tree gospel, the stuff that I grew up with, and so it's just nice to be in that and start the new year like that with my family. So, we've had a pretty exciting year in music. Like I said, I had a hard year personally, but the thing that held me down the most was music, and that's something that's been a consistent thing in my life. I've made this playlist that I've, kept going back to throughout the year, and so I feel like that really, not ruined, but that's all that showed up in my. Well, I use Apple Music, so my Apple Music replay, but my Wrapped essentially. It's just the same song that I've been listening to over and over again to just sort of give you motivation. I can link it in the description when I've posted this episode. But it was a great year for music, and that sort of really pulled me through. Lots of motivating songs, lots of great dance music, things that I was able to use to just sort of push myself out of sad moments or down moments, or even celebrate the happy moments. So this is the year in review of all of the African music that, not all of, because then the episode would be super long, but some of the African music that came out this year and some of the moments that I really appreciated. I'm gonna start off with my girl Tyla. I've talked a little bit about her album already. Go back to episode 7. That's where I really talk about all the summer albums. That is also a summer review. So I won't go too deeply into any of the projects that I talk about today, because most of them I talked about already. But then I'm really just talking about how they made me feel and how I think they made a lot of the fans feel. So Tyla, she came in early around March. And what I again really appreciate was that she dropped extended play of that album with Push to Start, Shaker, really big hits. And Tyla gets a lot of flack, man, especially from Western audiences that don't understand her. for a lot of things that I think are out of her control. For example, like the colored thing, I just feel like I get it, right? I get it. She's black and she should just say that, especially when she's outside of South Africa. Fine. But if you haven't grown up experiencing being black because of where you grew up, people haven't treated her as a black person. It is a, it is kind of wild. Wouldn't it be kind of wild to claim this new identity when you know racially you just have not been treated like that. You've had different privileges. That's neither here or there. That's not about the music. Let me get back to the music. Despite all the, all the hating she gets, all the controversy around her, I think she's been picking up awards everywhere. She won the Billboard Music Award for Top Afrobeats Artist, which was interesting. And every African realizes that is interesting. She made sure to say in her acceptance speech that she loves Afrobeats and everything, but she does amapiano, she does pop, she does R&B. She's South African. She is not an Afrobeats artist, and this is why we have to keep fighting that. And I love that she, each opportunity she gets to say that she does, she acknowledges that Afrobeats is great, but I'm of a different lane. And it's funny how they're kind of just ignoring her and keep giving her Afrobeats awards. It's different. It's very important that we acknowledge that it's different, because they're all going to lump every single thing that we do on the continent. There are, 53 countries on the continent, all doing unique things. It's just a terrible idea to lump us all together. We're still consistently fighting to be categorized accurately. But, it's a new year, so I really hope that we can work on, saying, fuck the West. Abandon their ideas of genres and the laziness with which they approach that. We need to be properly acknowledged. And we're not going to be honest, by a society that just simply can't understand us. And I've been saying that all year. So just like there's the Latin Grammys, we need to think about how we're going to get to a point where we are producing enough and in an efficient and structured way whether we're able to feed our own market and create our own, prestigious award shows and charts, etc. And that's going to take a lot. There's a lot of work to be done. The problems are many and the job is really big, but we just have to start. And I think even just talking about it is a good start. I have been complaining all year about how Afrobeats artists will go on different interviews and stuff like that and say they're not Afrobeats artists. Yes, like I'm saying, we need to be categorized accurately. So if you don't feel like you do Afrobeats, fine, but then don't say you're doing Afro house or Afro pop, because what does that mean? I've been complaining about this all year. What does that mean? Don't just put the word Afro in front of something and then say that's what you're doing. So to be honest, if you feel like you're doing Afro pop, you're doing Afrobeats. Whereas there's pop and there's R&B, you can pick that lane. And then there's Fuji, and then there's Azonto, and then there's Gom, and then there's Amapiano, and there's South African House, which is also another thing altogether. And there's Kwaito. Let's just be very specific. That's all I want from 2025. Be very specific and be strict about that. So Tyler's doing a small part in pushing that African pride, and I support her in that. And I can never hate her. I don't know what the big deal is. I just can never hate Tyler. There's nothing to hate. I don't I don't get it. Push the Start is a banger. Sheikah's has been on repeat. Definitely get into that if you haven't already. In that same vein of African pride, there's my baby boy Rema. The love of my life. Rema, call me. I need you so bad. My personal kryptonite is like a fruity altar boy who just does what he likes and is confident in that. That is my weakness. And anyone who knows me knows that that's my weakness. A little fruity altar boy with a slutty low waist. Love him. Was exactly what we needed. Exactly what we needed. That reset that we needed. Rema just has his finger on the pulse so hard. and he's just so authentic, which I just love. He needed the Asaman intro, that dun 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 dun, dun banger. We needed the energy of Macham. We needed the razness of Ozaba. Like, forget steez, forget composure. I personally needed the solemn reflection of Now I Know. That was that's on my motivation playlist. It just sort of really speaks to me. And so with this album, remember saying, this is fucking Africa, and you will hear us. This is how we sound. We're Raz, we're wild, we're ravers. And he's holding that with pride. And, it makes me personally feel patriotic, free. I think he just did an amazing job with that project. And, I know how we're all, not we, because I'm not, but people are all, Rama's not beating the juju allegations. But it's like, I mean, guys, I don't know. We have bigger things to worry about. I think that's my. I just feel like we all need to calm down on the juju stuff. Like, it's the evil things are right in front of our eyes. I feel like they're more clear than what we think is a symbolism in music. Personally, that's my opinion. But Rama held it down this year. He held it down, and I think that's really my Afrobeats album of the year, for obvious reasons. The Maven Machine is just unstoppable. I would love to talk to Don Jazzy one day and see Don Jazzy on this podcast. He is a stalwart in this industry. Like, he has held it down. The people that he has brought into stardom and the talents that he's groomed is just unheard of. It's incredible. I feel like he's like a Quincy Jones type level. He has a working formula that has given us so many great artists. Aria's also held it down this year. Obviously, the year I turned 21 was a big banger. I mean, again, also, I can't. How is she only 22? Insane. Amazing performer. Beautiful. Body banging. Face card. Not declining. Like, vocals, 10 over 10. So I talked about that again in the summer review about how I just like her tonality. It's very interesting, and she sort of has very good control over the way her voice cracks and changes, and I think she's been trained quite well because she performs very well. She's been out here looking incredible. She's touring with Coldplay. She's on every single stage everywhere in Nigeria this December, and looking sexy while doing all of it. Again, she's also received some backlash about, again, that sexuality, and like, I mean, you guys, people, seriously, I don't even know why you guys know I'm online, so I see that nonsense, and to be honest, I'm even tired of it because it's just so silly. But you've made it when you get all the hates. Like, you're lit when the hate is 100%, because it's so dumb. And people had some critique for how Mavens was marketing her, even though she's been everywhere this year. So it was very interesting. I mean, there are other people on Mavens that I think actually deserve to complain about how they're being marketed. Mavens, there's so many other people on Mavens. There's Johnny Drill, Crayon, Ladipo. And Ladipo dropped a single, I think, back in a couple months ago, called Ekwe. Really great club banger, I think. The beat is very Kelpie vibes produced that, so the beat is fire. But that song didn't really get any energy. I think it was a really great song, so that's unfortunate. I think that's the only thing he dropped in 2024. But I love Ladipo, and I really try to support African rappers, like the people that are proper hip hop heads, because it's really kind of hard to be that in Africa. We have some really great rappers, especially in Ghana. You guys are, I champion Ghanaian rappers the most. But Africans we tend to just love the Afrobeats vibes. We like to dance and sing, and so rapping isn't always people's cup of tea. So a lot of rappers would have to find the blend between still doing what they love, which is rapping, and creating that Afrobeats vibe. Fino did that very well with like Do I Look and Burna Boy on the remix with Do I. Still very rappy, but still has that like, you can still dance to it essentially. And that's, it can be difficult to do at times. Obviously, of course, there are people that do it successfully. But if you think about it, even Fino had disappeared for several years and then came back with a couple of hits and came back with Do I, which was a really big one. So it's difficult. Go listen to Ladipo single and tell me what you think, because I think it deserves more love. Let me round out. I didn't really round out my thoughts on Rema. I think it's very clear the immediate effect he is had as an album. Like I said, that reset, because it sort of feels like everything and everyone is returning to factory settings, even outside of music. Society in general sort of feels like there's just this big reset happening. Musically, culturally, politically, just by the force of nature and human behavior, we've come to this impasse where people are like wanting to be true to themselves and authentic, and sort of realizing the ways that corporations and what the rich people are telling us, the rich people and the people that are in control of the various means of production, not to sound like super woo-woo, but seriously, what they're telling us we should be into and how we should produce and be creative and be ourselves and represent ourselves. Sorry guys, by the way, end of year cold. I have one of those. You know how it is. I'm trying to take care of myself, and that's why this episode, it took me a couple of seconds, because I was like, the first couple of days I got this cold. I could not speak, literally. I was kind of losing my voice, but I knew I had to get it done before January really got underway. Anyway, Rema really set the tone for that reset. It just feels like everyone is going back to truth and authenticity. I can think of Wizkid's album Mariah, Fire, obviously. It felt very much like old Wizkid. It felt like he was going back to his roots. Made in Lagos was obviously fantastic, but I think even Wizkid surprised himself at how well that album did. It felt very different from, not very different, but it was a lot more R&B-ish than his older stuff. His older stuff felt like true Afrobeats. And so because that did so well, it felt like he was trying to lean into that very, very much. And, his album after that, Is It More Money, Less Ego, was really good, but not as good as Made in Lagos. And then it sort of felt like he was trying so hard to make another Made in Lagos. So I like that he seems to have kind of gone back to his roots a little bit. Ashake still maintained, he has a lot of Amapiano influences in his songs. He sort of really made that popular in Nigeria. But in this last album, Lungu Boy, he has really tried to lean back into his Fuji vibes, which I really appreciate. And then I'm thinking, even in Ghana, if you visited Ghana a lot, or you're from Ghana, you'd sort of realize that Ghanaian music is not played as much as you would think a country should play their music when you go out. But this December, High Life is being played a lot more, old and new. King Paluta obviously has held it down. I said that for the popping. I did not pick it. Makoma. Famiyes very soon is very clearly the song of the season. Great song. King Promise did a lot of high life sampling in his last album, in True to Self. And High Life will always be the Ghanaian favorites. Like anyone that does, I would say anyone that wants to be an artist in Ghana, do High Life. That's usually what would blow you up the fastest. Obviously, that's not everybody's cup of tea as usual, but like Ghanaians love High Life, and that's really where we truly thrive, I think. But this year, the December is just generally slower. We had an election year, so it's just not as dirty as it usually is. And people seem panicked about that. I don't see like people are panicked about that. It's fine. It's fine to have a calm year. Everybody had a tough year. Nobody has money. We just got rid of this wicked government. Like, let's just give us a little time to reset. Next year we'll be back, or the year after. It's fine. It's not like people will never come to Ghana again. Like, it's I don't know why everybody's making a big deal. We're recovering, and so there's just slightly fewer, not too much fewer, but fewer tourists, fewer people that are complete foreigners. Obviously, people that are from Ghana and come home every year are doing that as usual. But the people that are visitors and all the big events we have, like, DLT and Recess coming to Ghana, um, all that isn't happening as much. Also, Bloom not being here anymore, RIP. You had to be there. Bloom 2016 to 2019, you just had to be there. Just peak times in Accra nightlife. But yeah, Bloom not being there, there's a vacuum for sure. But I'm not pressed about it, and you shouldn't be either. But as there are fewer outsiders, there has just been a lot more Ghanaian music. I'm hearing a lot more Ghanaian music, a lot more high life, a lot more Kim Paluta, Fameye, all that stuff as well. And I'm just happy about that. I pick it. Like, I think it's time for us to really play Ghana. And that was a whole campaign at some points, but I think we're finally doing it. And I think we should consistently do that even as we sort of find our footing again as a December vacation destination. So yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed King Paluta and Fameye the most, I think, this year. So Ghana, King Promise as well. All just very fun music. And with Very Soon, again, that's also on my motivation playlist. It's definitely the song of the season, and it's a great way to enter 2025. I would say listen to that. It's just a great motivator. Now, an Afrobeats album that I think is actually flawless, but did not get, or at least I've not heard people talk about it enough. People that have heard it all agree. So I think I just need more people to get on the wave. Oxlade's Offer, OFA, absolutely phenomenal. Oxlade has been doing music for a long time. I would say probably a decade, if not more. And he just has never dropped an actual debut album. I think it's his first official debut. I think he dropped a lot of EPs, a lot of features, that type of thing. And the Colors performance, Colosa, really, took him to another level. But I believe this is his official debut album. And so usually when people do that, when people are artists for so long without releasing a debut album, I tend to worry that, like, the first album just won't be good because they're used to being a single artist. Not the case with Oxlade. He smashed it. Intoxicated on there is my flipping jam, constantly on repeats. Dave smashed that verse. As soon as RMF, Ololufe with the landlord, Sarkodie, all fantastic. And he put Kulosa on there. And to be honest, the Colors performance was better. Like, if anything, I'm always gonna play that version because the album version kind of feels a little overproduced. I don't know what they did differently, to be honest, but you could just tell that it's a different studio, really. But obviously still a banger. But I tend to always play the Colors version. I think it's kind of funny how he does this closer for closer, and as soon as I like this wordplay thing. That's a cute little gimmick that he has. So I think that's fun. And yeah, absolutely go listen to Oxlade's album if you haven't. It's one of the best albums. Probably should I say top 5 of the year? I think I can say top 5 of the year. He did very well. I would go and listen to that. I'll be on the Altair cruise, so I have to talk about Odunsi's Letter Park, because I don't think I talked about it much in the other episodes that I've done. Really great. Odunsi always feels like he's ahead of the curve, especially in the alternative scene. He was one of the early Altair artists, and he's just sort of really stuck to that, and I love that authenticity. I love that he's staying true to himself, and then he's always introducing new young artists that you may have never heard of that have these really interesting voices, really interesting styles. Nigeria is really, I think it's just the sheer size of the country. Like, there's so many eclectic vibes coming out of Nigeria. You honestly can never get bored listening to Nigerian music just because there's so many options. There's so much you can listen to, and you'd be surprised at the variety. And I think Odunsi does a good job of sort of bringing some of those people more mainstream, because Odunsi is mainstream while still feeling very street, still feeling very core to the Alte movement. There's Fireboy. I talked a little bit about his album in my summer album review. Good album. Great album, honestly. Every day on there is great. Ishe Oluwa is great. One Day's Bop, fire. I love that sample. I also have a sample playlist where I try and put together. It's not all Afrobeats, but I might link it at some point, so you guys could just see how some of these people incorporate samples into their songs. And I love that just Afrobeats gets to a point where we're sampling people more. I feel like when we first started, there just wasn't as many samples as I think there are now, which I'm just really enjoying. I'm talking about Thames because I talked a bit about her in the last, again, album review episode. Go check that out. But it's Thames. I mean, what else is there to be said? Legend. Tega is killing it. Her team is killing it, and she is doing a fantastic job of making sure people, like, she's getting nominated for R&B awards, which is exactly what she does. Sometimes, yes, like Love Me Jeje is like giving Afrobeats, but a lot of her music is R&B. This is what I mean. I need people to just be specific, stay in a particular lane. And she's not saying Afro R&B, because that would just kill me. Please, R&B. Keep it simple. Keep it light, and keep it specific. And so I love that for her. Always championing Thames. I need her to share her prayer, because the favor on her is serious, and that's how you know that her prayer is really working. That's a woman of God for real. Burna Boy dropped his single Bundle by Bundle and was now gallivanting with Chloe Bailey. I don't know what that was about. That looked very strange. Like, shout out to Chloe, like, have fun, or whatever, do your thing. But it felt very random. I was like, what is happening? I can't even imagine them having a conversation. But, I hope she enjoyed her time in December. Like, the girls are out here, like, Sweetie's in Nigeria. Whoa, Vicky, for some reason, is in Nigeria. The girlies are outside. No, that's all that matters. I just want the girls to have fun. And so I don't know if that whole thing was promotion for Bundle by Bundle. I guess it all happened out at the same time. So I guess I don't like the song. I don't really. It's okay. I'm like, I just I don't like the song, but people seem to be playing it great for Burna Boy. Like, it's Burna Boy though. Like, I think anything that he produces, people will love. I don't really like the song. In general, it's just not that exciting to me. But yeah, I think that really covers everything. I hope I'm not forgetting any other projects, any other albums. Like I said, we just finished December, we just entered January. We're still in that December feel. It doesn't really end until about the 10th of January or so. So there's still concerts. Shodan Camp is performing in Accra at Polo in a couple days. Charlie Poppy was here in Ghana. Omale just had the one call with Tyler and Spinall. Great song as well. Not much to say there. I listened to it. I enjoy the song, but it's I don't know if I put it up as one of the best songs that came out this year, but it's an enjoyable song. And yeah, he performed in Ghana recently. And of course, there's all these concerts in Nigeria as well that I'm not even keeping track of. But it's very much still active. I don't know why people. Again, I keep saying that people are panicking. We're very much still active. As for outside, one thing African is gonna be is outside. Okay, no matter what, we're gonna have a good time Christmas, because that's just what we do. So that's my year in review. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good year for music. I know I tried to keep it African, but obviously there were so many projects outside of the continent that were fantastic. Obviously, Kendrick's album, Doechie's album has been on repeat. Beyonce, don't even get me started. Consistently great stuff. Oh, Shatta Wale crossed over in Jamaica at Cartel's Freedom Streets concerts, his New Year concert. Love that for Shatta Wale. You can't keep Shatta Wale down. That's that's his strength. Like he literally will always bounce back. Not even bounce back. He doesn't go anywhere. He's always gonna be. He's the mayor of these streets. Like he owns Accra. That's like it's literally there's no what that Shatta Wale doesn't win. He may seem a bit silly and like chaotic, but he's always gonna win. And he has all these. If he looks back on his career, he has really incredible big moments that honestly he should be proud of. And I have some critique of how he could have done better in some ways, but that's just me being overly critical, I suppose. He's had an amazing career, and I think he can really grow old and retire knowing that he did the damn thing, truly. So proud of Shatta Wale for that. It's been a great December. It's been a great year. 2024 was a great year in terms of all the lessons, the challenges, the good moments, the bad moments, the push for growth and discipline that I think we all experienced. And like I said, music was always there to hold us down throughout all of that. 2025 is a year of restoration, redemption. All the growth and challenges that you face in 2024, you're about to see the fruits of that in 2025. I'm about to see the fruits of that in 2025. Pray for each other, love each other, be gentle with each other. Understand that everybody is having independent challenges and moments. And sometimes that can be difficult to accept. I know I have a hard time accepting that sometimes because I definitely rely on my support system very heavily. But I've definitely grown to understand the need to just sometimes go at it alone, climb your mountain alone. And when people get to that point where they're like, okay, now I'm getting better at this, I'm getting stronger, I can climb faster, then you'll see them again. And 2025 is that year for that. It's going to be a great, great year. Keep up with the music again because it's still fantastic. I know we love talking about how older songs are better. There's still so much talent out there. 2025, I expect to be a great year for music. Rema and Santi just teased a 2-track single pack. Can't wait for that. It's going to be a good year, people. Believe that, embrace that, live like that. Happy New Year. Thank you for listening to In the Mix Season 1. It's been a journey. I can't wait to be back with new and exciting things. It's going to be a great Season 2. Quality episodes, quality entertainment. Thank you for being here with me. Happy New Year. Peace. I'll see you soon.
I'm the brother, yes. Do it for my niggas in the Ghana sun. Haters gonna be running when the fire come. Hustle for the cash where I'm coming from. Champion with the whole number, talk too much.
Nigga know the whole, but I make 2 horse. Make I hit light space, make I chop jack doors. You can get it for the low, I can never take a loss. I'm the nigga with the sauce, nigga yams raw dog.
And if I did with your ex, but I'm making no vex. Latex, I'ma pull up in a minute, no stress.
Big Benz, I'ma pull up and I hit it, no flex. All 10s, I'ma get it with the commas, cause I'm blessed.
We be blessed, and we be champions. My champion will be easy. You know if you rush me. My champion will be easy. 10 times for your day when I call on your name. I'ma stay in your lane, if the cloud to the chase. Yeah. You know if you rush me. My champion will be easy. I be champion. My champion will be